All right, I'm going to go over two examples of how we can use the quadratic formula to find the x-intercepts or the roots of a quadratic equation. So this is usually going to be when you can't easily factor the equation, into x plus something times x plus something, which means that the x-intercepts are most likely going to be at like some like tedious decimals. So let's just go ahead, let's work through it. So if you remember, or you should remember, quadratic formula says that x can be found by setting it equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Make sure you memorize this. This is something that needs to be ingrained in your brain for the rest of your math life. So then we just need to make sure we know what the a, b, and c are. So the a here is 1, because that's the coefficient of x. That's the coefficient of x squared. The b is 10. And then the c is 2. So then our equation will be equal to negative b, or negative 10, plus minus the square root of b squared, or 10 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 2, all over 2 times a, which is 2 times 1. And then simplifying this, we'll get x is negative 10 plus minus the square root of 100. 10 squared is 100. 4 times 1 times 2, 4, 8. So 100 minus 8 all over 2. Breaking it down. We'll get x is negative 10 plus minus the square root of 92 all over 2. Let me divide this like that. And then this becomes negative 10 plus minus, let's take a decimal approximation for 92, so that we don't have to worry about it later. That'll be about 9.59. All over 2. So one of the roots will be when you add the 9.59, the other will be when you subtract. So let's just set x1 equal to negative 10 plus 9.59. That's not a 9, that's a 6. Negative 10 plus 9.59 all over 2, which will be negative 0.41 over 2. Which will be about negative, I did the more precise calculation in the calculator, and we'll get about 0.204, or about negative 0.204. That's one of them. And the other will just subtract the 9.59 from negative 10. So x2 will be negative 10 minus 9.59 over 2. So we'll get negative 19.59 on top, and divide that by 2. About negative 9.795. Now, when it says make a sketch, let's make sure we understand what that means. It means for you to draw the parabola going through the x-axis at these two coordinates. Again, it doesn't have to be like a Picasso drawing. just reasonable enough so that you demonstrate that you know what you're talking about. So negative 0.204, let's just say it's over here. So recognize that that's just the x-coordinate, so that's going to be negative 0.204, comma 0. And then negative 9.795 to the left. It's not drawn on the scale, so don't worry about that. So negative 9.795, comma 0. And the parabola is going to open up because A is 1, so it's a positive opening parabola. So the idea is for you to recognize this. It's just a sketch. It's not to plug and chug and figure out all the other points. But if you were to do that, the strategy is just to remember that the line of symmetry is in the middle. And then if you just add these two and find the average, you'll get that'll be negative 5. Yeah. Negative. So if we just did this, again, it's going to be close because it was a decimal approximation. But that, you see that divided by 2, that'll be the middle. So then we know at this point the vertex here has an x-coordinate of negative 5. And again, you could use the formula. Remember the formula for the x-coordinate of the vertex is just this first part here, negative b over 2a. That's how we get the first part of it, and then we add and subtract the discriminant. That's why we get 1 point to the right of this and 1 point to the left. That's where the symmetry comes in. Now, if we were to find the y, we just plug negative 5 into the equation. So negative 25 minus 50. Wait, 25 minus 50? That's what it'd be? Yeah, 25 minus 50. So negative 25 plus 2, negative 23. So again, not drawn to scale, which is why I didn't have you graph this on a grid, because that'd be really far away. But there you go. Okay, I have another one here, but maybe try this on your own first. Like, pause the video, give it a shot, and then unpause it once you think you got it down. That way you're actually doing this on your own instead of just copying straight up. But here I go. Identify the A is 2, the B is negative 16, the C is 27. Plugging those into my formula. Negative B, since B is negative 16, negative B will be positive 16, plus minus the square root of B squared, negative 16 squared, minus 4 times A times C, all over 2 times A, or 2 times 2. And let's zoom in a little bit. So x will be 16 plus minus 16 squared is 256. 4 times 2, 8. 8 times 27. 8 times 25 is 200, right? So this would be 208. Let me just double check to make sure I didn't. No, 216. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. 216. So minus 216 all over 4. 16 plus minus, let's simplify the square root first. 256 minus 216, square root of 40 all over 4. And then we take up an approximation for the square root of 40. We can use 6.32. So we'll have 16 plus minus 6.32 over 4. So we have one roots when we add the 6.32 and the other one we subtract. So let's do that. So x1 will be 16 plus 6.32 x32 over 4. And let me just set up x2 right here. x2 will be 16 minus 6.32 over 4. So we get 22.32 over 4. And then we get 5.58 there. And then we have 9.68. Yeah, 9.68 over 4. So 2.42 for this one. All right, so now we just make a little sketch. They're both positive. We got one at 5.58. So 5.58 comma 0. The other one's 2.42. Comma 0. And the parabola is going to open upward because the a is positive 2 that is. You're going to have something like this. Now, again, you can just know where the vertex is by just finding the middle of those two. And if you can't do it in your head, and just add them and then divided by 2, which will just be 4. So we know that the vertex has an x value of 4. Remember, this line of symmetry is the line x equals 4. That goes through the middle of the parabola and through the vertex. So 4 comma, find the y value. I plug in the 4 into here. We get f of 4 would be 2 times 16. Because 4 squared is 16. Minus 16 times 4. Minus 64 plus 27. I'm doing a lot of this in my head. So 32 minus 64 is negative 32. Negative 32 plus 27 is negative 5. So we'll get the y value at negative 5 for the vertex. So there you go. There's a simple sketch. So yeah, I hope that helps. But again, let me know if you have any questions. Give me some feedback. Good or bad. I would prefer good. And give me a like and make sure you're subscribed, of course. And I'll see you guys in the next time.